Okay, I'm here today with Shannon Microte, and she is going to help me out with our contextual interview for the Eco Squad research phase for user experience design class with Lizzie Wortham for MCAD spring, or it's fall actually, fall 2014. Shannon, can you just do one more test to see if your microphone is still working?
Yeah, test 1, 2.
3! Okay. Excellent, it is. So, Shannon, I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about the app first, and then we can get into the intent for this interview and what I hope to glean from what you have to say. Don't be nervous at all. It's not a test. It's not to test your knowledge. It's not anything like that. It's just I am really just interested in your perspective and your ideas and needs as somebody who lives in a city and is concerned about the environment. Um, so a little bit about the app or website. For this phase of the project, we are only creating the website, and eventually there will be an app for like mobile devices. But Eco Squad is a network of people in communities to join together and create projects that have a lasting change on the environment and their communities and to make it a better place. And it's focusing entirely on green initiatives and sustainable living and those kind of things. So that's the general idea of the app. We're still in the research phase and hoping to we know that this interview process and user research is going to help us shape the project more, so it'll be something useful and beneficial to everybody that will use it. Do you have any questions about that right now?
No.
No? Okay. Well, a little bit about my role in this project. I'm on a committee with 2 other people that will be working together to design the app. And we'll be starting with user research, and then we'll go into personas and design kind of fictitious people that would potentially be using this, and then we'll go into the user experience design and figure out the flow and the different screens that we'll need and the different tasks and things like that, and then we'll go into wireframing where we'll kind of get the bones of the site created, and then go into design after that. But for today, all we need to talk about right now is just green living. That's what we're going to be talking about right now. So, Shannon, can you tell me a little bit more, or just a little bit like kind of your interests, and just kind of give me a background of the steps that you take to maybe reduce your carbon footprint, or just the little things that you do that make you a eco-conscious person?
So I live in Minneapolis, so I'm able to walk around a little bit, which is nice. So I try to walk from whether it's to a coffee shop or things like that rather than driving. I'm also able to bike around as well. I am a vegetarian, so try to avoid any processed or factory farmed any kind of meat products or things like that. I also will shop at something like a Whole Foods, and I do a CSA, which is a community supported agriculture, and so I get food from a local farm, organic farm, every week with fresh produce. So trying to make my own food and things like that. And then just really aware of turning off the lights or unplugging things when I'm not using them. I recycle. I would compost if I could. Have lots of plants. And yeah, that's about what I can think of right now.
Awesome. You're doing so much more than a lot of other people are. But what sort of got you into thinking about these things? Was it like when did you start becoming more aware of yourself and the effects that you have on your environment?
I would say maybe towards my senior year of high school, or certainly my early years of college and my undergrad. I lived in Duluth, and there's a lot of nature there, and so you just become a lot more aware of wanting to preserve that. And it's sad to see things getting overbuilt and resources being wasted. Um, and took a biology class my freshman year of college, and that was what really sparked me to pursue that passion a little bit more and became a vegetarian and really kind of hated what huge animal farming was doing to the planet.
Um, so it started when you were, about 17, 18-ish. Do you think that this is going to be something that you continue to do throughout your life, and maybe trying to like learn more about things and making more active things? Are you kind of comfortable now? Is it something that you like have a goal set where you want to become a more eco-conscious person, or are you just kind of, I'm doing what I can right now and I'm good with that? But
sometimes I have to live within my means of what's available to me, but it's not something I'm just comfortable with. I always want to be doing more. As global warming becomes more prominent and the lack of resources becomes more evident, it becomes more and more important to me to conserve those resources and energy and do whatever I can. So I'm actually a co-leader of our green team at work, and I work at Cigna, which is an insurance company, and we have about 800 employees there. So we work with our facility managers to do more eco-friendly things in the building, whether it's hand soap that doesn't harm the planet, different things for energy efficient lights. We got a sidewalk built to cross the street so we could go to the walking path because there's a lake outside of work. And so we do a lot of green initiatives at work. So creating awareness and trying to make changes is certainly still something that's a priority for me. Long-term goal-wise, I guess I'm not entirely sure where it'll take me or what things I'll move into. But certainly eating clean and healthy and more organic farming and protecting the soil, I think, is certainly important. And really, recycling is very important to me as well.
awesome. So when you were working at Cigna, or when you're still working at Cigna, but when you were kind of planning these new initiatives at work for like the hand soap and the sidewalk, where did you like get the information and the resources? What was sort of the process in planning those things?
Definitely. One thing that's nice is there's a group of about 30 of us, so we're able to share ideas and build off of each other. Doing research online, there's a lot of, it's hard work too because we work with a lot of different organizations within the city. So we're in Eden Prairie, and we work with the 9 Mile Creek watershed to do water protection and like reducing the salt that goes in our parking lots in the winter. So it's a lot of collaborating, and our facility managers are really nice. But most of the things that we do are doing research on our own online. We contact different organizations or companies for more information or for donations of different products. Sometimes, like getting the different soap, we had to make sure that the price was going to be worth it and something that they were willing to spend the money on. So it's a lot of collaborating with other people in different organizations.
How did you guys sort of manage that project? Did you use like an internet tool or some sort of software, or was it through email or like meetings and just like a paper trail? How did you sort of keep everything organized?
They call it a SharePoint. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that or if it's only like a Cigna thing. But it's basically like a website that we have access to, and we can upload like all of our notes, like whether it's our meeting notes or different things we're working on, and have folders and projects that all of us can access. So some of the things are all online. Email is certainly huge. Emailing back and forth, emailing people inside the company, phone calls, face-to-face meetings as well with people within the building. So kind of both electronic and paper trail.
Excellent. I think, I've heard of SharePoint, and I think that company sort of tailors software solutions for each client. And since Cigna's so gigantic that I
Okay.
don't know a ton, but anyway, I've heard of it. I know what that is, kind of. So unless it's like the same name of something else, do you have? Would you be able to like snap a screenshot and share that with me, or is that like protected?
It's probably protected.
Okay.
I would have to do that at work. I wouldn't be able to do that now.
Okay, that's
It's not
fine.
very user friendly. I mean, I don't really personally like it, and it's very plain. It's very basic. It's
Was
could
it?
use a facelift maybe.
So, what were some of the tasks that you could do with SharePoint? Other, you said creating notes and things like that.
Basically, it's more of a storage space, like where we store what people are working on, basically written down things. So we don't do meetings through it or anything like that.
Okay. So it was just like a document center, and
Right.
could
That
people?
everyone can access to kind of look through to get updates, but it's not. We don't really use it for anything else other than that.
So when you uploaded it, would there be like your name attached to it, like Shannon uploaded this on this date?
I think so, yeah.
And then could people like add notes to that, like comment on it, or?
Yes, if they have permission to.
Okay.
There's only people can view it, but not everybody has like the rights to change things.
Okay.
So if they have administrative rights, they could add things. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So there wasn't like any like discussion board, like if you think of like a forum on a different website, it wasn't like that. It was just like, here's a document, here's some comments. Yeah.
And actually, now that I think about it too, I think you can do like surveys.
Oh, okay.
That too, so you could set up a survey and people can enter it and fill in questions or things like that to collect data. So
Cool.
it might have some more uses that I'm aware of.
Cool. Well, if you think of anything else, you can just let me know later. But that's cool. So that's I didn't know that about Cigna and the work that you do there. So that's awesome. So when you guys were like in your planning phase for these projects, was there like a group, like a leader, a team leader for these initiatives or in committees? How was the structure of the planning team structured?
Yeah, everything's optional when we're working on a project. So most of the time, somebody will volunteer to kind of headline the team, and so we kind of do these little subgroups, and whoever wants to work on that specific project can. And whoever's kind of in charge will do all the emailing, setting up meetings with each other to plan things out. So it's kind of based on what people have time for and what they want to be involved in. And we do a lot of different projects, and everyone has different interests. So people really kind of choose wherever their passions lie to get involved in.
Cool.
So.
Let me see if I think I might come back to that part a little bit later if I think of anything, but that's really neat. But you mentioned earlier when you were talking about things that you do now as an individual, and you mentioned you would compost if you could. I'm just wondering, what do you think is holding you back from doing that?
I live in an apartment and it's not allowed.
It's not allowed. Okay. Do you is it a matter of like, have you ever composted before?
Actually, personally, no. I've never lived in a place where they've allowed me to really have a compost of my own, but certainly I have family members who do and have spent time with people who do, so contribute to theirs.
Nice. So you kind of know how to do it. I mean, would you find like learning more about composting helpful?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. I want to compost too. I tried once and I ended up just like getting stinky mold in my kitchen because I kept forgetting to bring it out, but whatever. Try again later. And I'm also confused like how I do this in the winter time too. So I mean, climate also has an effect on it, but it's definitely something I'd like to learn more and do as well. Um,
Well, it's good. I think you can just throw, even though it's frozen, you can just keep adding to it. And
right.
it breaks down and creates its own heat and energy too. So,
Oh, see, I
so
didn't know that part about it. Composting is so cool. Um, so are you aware of like anything in like your neighborhood or in Minneapolis of green projects or like things like that? Like, do you hear about things like on the radio or um, like, oh, come join us for like a neighborhood cleanup day or things like that? Do you ever engage in any like neighborhood activities that are going on to help clean up the planet a little bit, or is that anything that you're interested in?
certainly interested. I haven't done that specifically in Minneapolis. Um, I listen to the Current, so I do hear sometimes some things from there that are local and going on. French Meadow Bakery is here, and they just started a community kind of garden space right on Lindale, so that's really cool. So they're getting food right from there. So I get some information from there. There's some really great restaurants around here that do local stuff like common roots and things like that. So try to eat at those kinds of places. But in regards to maybe like an organized cleanup, I haven't really done anything like that.
Um,
Yeah, I actually don't hear about those that often. But
do you think if you were more like aware, if like you got like a notification about things that even if it a lot was a if you had time in your schedule or weren't too busy, do you think you would participate?
yeah, I definitely think getting a notification would be really nice
Yeah,
to know
something.
kind of where it's at, what's local, what time. That would be really nice and easy. I don't even know where to go to find it. That
Right. Yeah, it can be kind of like, I mean, you live in such a big city, and it's like all these organizations, like put up flyers or whatever, and it's still hard to know what's going on unless you like watch every single day and like look for things. Um, do you, so as far as like your life outside of working at Cigna, you're also getting your master's degree, which is almost over. Um, what are like? Do you participate? Like what other like websites do you use regularly? Do you use Facebook? Do you ever use Meetup.com or anything like that?
I do not.
Do you know what
But
Meetup.com is?
yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
but you don't have a
That's
profile on there.
I don't. I've thought about it. My life has been a little busy
Yeah.
finishing up grad school right now, so we'll certainly have a lot more free time in the near future, and I've certainly considered using that to meet up with different groups or specific interests.
Yeah. Um, what other websites or apps do you have installed on your phone to help keep you either productive or like in the know or entertained?
I use Groupon, sometimes social living too. Um, that's a good question. Read the news a lot, so have some apps for both global and local news kinds of things. So I'm gonna get my information from there. And I'm trying to think of websites that I use. Sometimes like BuzzFeed or some of those other kind of social sites I'll occasionally peruse as well.
Cool. Oh, I have another question regarding when you were for Cigna when you were doing those committee projects. Um, so what was your role in those projects? Did you just kind of, I don't know, tell me about that.
Yeah, we do. So I co-lead the team with another girl, and then I am the head of, in charge of our CSA on site. So that's community supported agriculture. So I actually do that all on my own. So I work with the farmer directly and getting information out at Cigna about when to order their shares, what's available, what's in them, I email everybody every week about when the share is done. So I've organized that project. That's been my hugest one. I also helped lead National Recycling Day, which we do annually. And so I was the head of that as well. I'm not anymore, so some other people have taken it over this year. But that was just the other week. And we also do like an Earth Day event every year as well. We have a ton of vendors come and kind of have an expo on site with maybe like 30 different vendors. So I helped with that, contacting people, getting things set up for people to come on site and educate others. That's a good question. We have a cafe on site, so we work with them too. So sometimes having conversations with them about getting more sustainable napkins, silverware, takeout containers. They use styrofoam, which I think everybody there hates. So we do conversations with that. So sometimes I don't participate in certain projects because I just don't have the time to fit it into my, I still have to work and just fit those things in on the side. So since I'm in charge of the CSA, that's my huge one, and then I kind of help out here and there. But in the past, I've been more in control of different projects.
Okay.
Mostly help organizing.
Awesome. So when you're organizing, you'd use the SharePoint system?
Yeah, but mostly it's just through email.
Through email, and that's
chain with everybody who's a part of that group, and then that's how we communicate
cool.
The majority of the time.
What were some of the frustrations or pain points when trying to wrangle all these people and all the vendors or different people that you had to keep contact with and getting tasks and action items done?
Yeah, so sometimes it's an issue for our members to get together just because of schedule conflicts. They have meetings or different obligations, so sometimes it's hard for all of us to meet up. So that's sometimes a barrier. But the hugest challenge that we have is the building that we're in, we don't own. And so we have to work with the facility site manager on anything that we want to have done. And so it's a lot of back and forth with them, making compromises. We have to go through legal and have to have like waivers and things like that for people to come on site and different things like that. So we have to get everything like approved, and finances is certainly always a concern, especially for them. We wanted to do like an on-site garden, but they wanted the garden to be in granite, which was like $6,000 because they were afraid that people from the road would see it. So, obviously we didn't have $6,000 to put towards a granite farm. So that's been our hugest challenge, is working with the facility to get things approved.
Okay. Man, yeah, that would be frustrating. What do you think would have, what did you wish for during that? You're like, if I had this, obviously more money would be the magic fix-all thing, but is there anything that would have helped the process out for you?
I don't know. It's hard because I'm not in charge of the facility or don't have any call there, and finances is certainly a huge issue to them. So even though they might agree with what we want and think it's a great idea, oftentimes the financial aspect is a huge barrier for us. So I don't know. Definitely some ideas are always helpful.
Right.
If there was a site that had just green living ideas or things that could be done in the workplace, would be awesome, because sometimes we run out of ideas or don't know what to be working on next. So those things would always be nice.
Do you mean sort of like a little resource library, or maybe a case study, this is one workplace and this is how they managed through these changes? It would be helpful for you to see how other people have done that and how they've crossed those barriers and things like that.
Definitely, that would be something that's helpful, as well as even just what are other facilities working on? What are they doing at their building that's maybe that's something we could do here, but we haven't thought about that yet.
Right.
So I know that there are green buildings in the Minneapolis area that meet a certain requirement to be like energy efficient or certain things like that, and it would be awesome to know what they've done to do that or what kind of projects they're working on, just so that we can improve as well.
Yeah. Cool. You know, I don't think I have any questions right now, but do you have any questions for me?
No.
No?
Really.
Okay. No, that was really good. Like, I honestly wasn't expecting all this stuff from Cigna to come up, so that was really exciting for me. But so that's really interesting. Thank you so much, Shannon, for sharing your experiences and ideas with me tonight. I will let you go so you can get some sleep because you are a very busy lady who's about to finish her master's degree. And I'm going to stop recording the screen, and just another round of applause for you, Shannon. Thank you. Okay, let me shut this off.